This summer, I was able to travel to Haiti on a mission trip and pair with several organizations while also documenting the culture, lifestyle, and people through photography. Some of the different organizations that I got to work with were Haiti Child Sponsorship, Young Life Haiti, Notre Mason St. Joe's Special Needs Orphanage, and Respiratory Schools. While in Haiti, I not only focused on building relationships and making friendships with the people that I met, but I also wanted to make sure that I was accurately documenting the culture, lifestyle, and the way that the people lived. My goal while I was there was that by the end of the trip, I would be able to have a collection of images and videos and stories that accurately represented and respectfully represented the people and the culture in a way that I wanted the rest of the world to see. And in order to do this, I had to keep a couple things in mind. One of the most important parts of this to me is making sure that you're understanding who you're taking the picture of. You're not going to portray a mother the same way that you would portray a child at play. Like, you're going to approach them differently, you're going to portray them in the photo differently, and understanding that each person has a different story to tell. And even though there are obvious language barriers, Haitians speak Creole and Americans speak English, you wanted to make sure that you could cross that language barrier and still convey an appropriate story that gave that person the representation that they deserved through a photograph. And that's what I love so much about photography and art, is it doesn't require a language, it doesn't require spoken word to be understood, but it also is one of the trickiest parts, is making sure that you are fully representing someone just by a photograph. One of the most vital parts about approaching someone and taking their photograph was making sure that there was a shared respect between both of you. Like, you wouldn't want to just come up to a mother who is breastfeeding or a mother who's holding a sick child and stick the camera down in their faces and take a picture of them. Like, the purpose of me being there was not to exploit people or their stories, it was to show respect to them and build a relationship. And so probably one of the most essential parts about taking a trip like this is learning how to observe people. You could tell a lot about people just by looking at them and observing their actions. You could tell if they worked in harsh conditions, if they were well off enough to eat once or even maybe multiple times a day, or if they weren't eating at all. You could tell if they were a mother by the way that they acted around families or had children of their own with them. And all of these things are essential to building up a portfolio or a profile of a person so that you approach them in an appropriate and respectful way. And I don't think that you can accurately capture someone until you've made that step. Another thing that was stressed to us on the trip to keep in mind was, where do we draw that line? Where do we decide, okay, we're not taking cameras into this village, okay, we're not gonna take cameras into this slum, we're not gonna take cameras into Mother Teresa's orphanage. You know, where do we decide when that becomes inappropriate? And luckily for me, I was blessed with amazing translators and a guide. His name was Whoopi, and he was with me all day, every day that I was there, and so he was able to provide a lot of insight on what was appropriate. For example, we all got in the back of a truck, so imagine 10 white people hanging out at the back of a Haitian truck, and we were driving through Jubilee, Haiti, which is actually the poorest slum in Haiti. And we all decided, okay, we're not gonna have phones out, we're not gonna have cameras out. This is gonna be a time for us to look and observe and learn from what's right in front of us in this moment. Because we did not want us driving through the village to be the same as people who go on a safari and hang out the back of a truck to take pictures of animals that they've never seen before. Like, we did not want that to be a dehumanizing factor. Like, they're people, they have struggles, and we felt that in that instance it would be inappropriate to take pictures of these people. Like in that instance, that would become exploiting people. By sitting with someone and getting to know them, or just showing them my camera rather than putting it in their face and taking a picture of them, you were able to observe more about them, and by doing that, you were able to make your photograph much more intimate. Like you were able to show a side of people that you might not have gotten if you wouldn't have walked over and spent 10 minutes with them. And that's all it takes. Like many of the organizations that I got to work with while I was there are focused around the youth and children of Haiti, and because of that, I did not spend a whole lot of time photographing adults, but instead a lot of young elementary aged children, and that was so fun. Pretty much everywhere that I took out my camera, I had kids coming up, poking and prodding and wanting their picture taken, even if at first they were kind of on the outskirts and acting a little shy. If they saw their friends getting their picture taken, it was game over. They all wanted their picture taken. The one word that all Haitians know is photo. And so I remember we were at Haiti Child Sponsorship School, and there were probably about 150 3rd through 8th graders standing in the courtyard, and at one point almost all of them were pulling at my camera in different directions, and I actually got some really fun pictures from that day just because they were all about it and their energy was awesome, and they're a really lively culture, and I think that the children really captured that so beautifully. And that was a really fun day, and just getting to do contact with kids, and every time you take their picture they would want to see it instantly, and that's just a really fun thing to be able to share with them. Of course, I had an amazing time while I was there, meeting new people, building new relationships, just diving into this new culture. It was incredible. But I also served a purpose while I was there, and for me that purpose was documenting that new culture of just absolute beauty and joy and the people that are just so incredibly beautiful, and bringing that back so that I could share it with people who may not have the opportunity to travel. There are a lot of people who want to help or have a lot to offer and might just not know of where to help or how to help or even who there is to help. That's what I think makes photography so incredibly beautiful, because you're able to capture that moment with that person or that mother and her child who are in desperate need, and you're able to share that with people who may not ever have the opportunity to travel but want to help. Photography offers people an insight to another world and another culture that they may not be able to ever get to themselves. But by giving them these photographs and showing them these things, you are helping them become more educated and feel more connected to a culture that they might never experience. Photos are what pull people's heartstrings. We're a super visual culture. Almost every form of entertainment, whether it's the newspaper has pictures, movies are super popular, websites always have pictures. Like, we are incredibly visual, and without providing organizations with images that capture things happening that they're trying to raise awareness for, they're really not going to get a whole lot of momentum going to help them. I think about marketing and Instagram and Facebook. Those are all social platforms that are super accessible to almost everyone, but without pictures, you're not able to accurately tell the story and really emphasize the importance of the organization that you're trying to support. People have said that a picture's worth 1,000 words, and in my opinion that is the biggest understatement of all time, because without a photograph we really never begin to connect or feel connected or relate to the person who we're trying to help or that we're learning about. Here are a collection of, in my opinion, the most powerful and moving pictures that I took while I was in Haiti. Moi
va esclavicher